Good morning and welcome to Coffee and Craps. This is John with Pro Craps here on Casino Gaming TV. Not live today. This is a pre-recorded show. What I did was I decided that since I was leaving on vacation, I gave you some interesting and different stuff to look at. So here, I'm going to walk you through my house. I'm going to show you the garage setup, how the daily paycheck table is working out there. Not quite finished, as you'll be able to see in a minute, but it's on the way to being a full studio out there. And I'm going to walk you through here, how I set my inside studio up and how I sort of produce the show each day. I'll give you a little bit of a look behind the controls. Not too terribly detailed, but I'll give you kind of a sense of the way that I run the show and give you kind of an idea of what it looks like. And then I'll show you me cutting a video down. I'm going to make a short right in front of you, and I'll show you how I produce one of my short 1-minute videos using content we did in Coffee and Craps. So with that said, let's cut to the chase, and I'm going to show you a little bit around the house, my garage, my studio, and then we'll cut a video out together. I'll see you in just a few out there. All right, let's come on in here into the garage, and there she is. There's the big table. This is where the paycheck happens every day, folks, right here. This is the big one. And again, it is my garage, as you know. So there's the setup, and I'll kind of walk you through how it is out here. So right now, this camera here on the end, this is one of those little OSBots, or OBS bots, I guess. This thing here is what grabs when I throw my hands. This is the one that you see from this end. This is this view right here from that camera there. The one here hanging over the top, that gets the bedding area, and the one over here, right by my lawn equipment, actually, is the one that gets the landing zone. This is the landing zone down here. Now, both these cameras, you can see the wall behind them. They're both about to get wall mounted. Maybe ceiling. That might go ceiling. I'm not sure yet, but I've got these. I'll show you these big arms here. Give me a second here. These big arms that actually mount, look how long that thing is. I think it's a 5 or 6 footer that mounts to the wall or ceiling, and that will take the place of the tripod. So eventually I'll have nice on the wall mounts here. I'll show you what it would look like. Let's try it again over here. Yeah, so eventually this will mount to the wall and hang over the table and become my new over the table camera. That's the idea anyway. So, and right over here, we've got in brand new wrapping. This is inch thick. I guess about inch thick or so. This is soundproofing foam, and it's also insulating. So the walls are insulated. That foam's gonna insulate. This garage will have all black walls all the way around it soon enough. The computer's over here too. And so how I film this thing, I've got that camera. You see the wire goes down and behind and under the table, and it comes up through the coin slot. Same here, that wire goes down behind the table and up through the coin slot, which all goes into a USB hub right there. And essentially what I do is this. I'll give you kind of a quick glimpse of it. Let me get logged in here real quick. So we get logged in here like this, and just the Mac, and I run the software I'm going to run here. I run 2 things. One is this software called Reaper. Now this Reaper software, I'll show it to you downstairs, a better view of it, but this takes my input from the microphone, and here's the microphone. This right here, lapel mic. So this little guy here, this little Hollyland, it's a wireless lapel mic, and there's the receiver. The receiver is actually inside the computer, hanging off the end there. It's super high tech right there. It just hangs off. But this receiver, this thing is awesome. This thing has an 8-hour battery life to it. It sounds great, as you know from the morning show. It sounds really good. That feeds into this. So this app called Reaper hears the microphone, and I have an equalizer and some sound effects on it to get rid of some of the echo that you hear in here. That actually feeds out, and it feeds Ecamm. I'm going to start Ecamm up here in a second. You'll see how Ecamm works. It's pretty cool, actually, the way this setup comes together. Right here, by the way, where the Pro Craps logo is, that's where the iPad sits. So right now I'm using the iPad to record this, but the iPad normally sits right there in that spot every day, and it plugs into the computer. And one of the views that you get from Ecamm is from this iPad, again, that I'm filming with. So here we go. And by the way, there's my one of my dice boats, the Skull Boat dice boat. The other dice boat is here. This thing is badass too. Check this thing out while my Ecamm's booting up. This was actually made for me by Ian Olson's daughter. She had this thing 3D printed for us. Little mini craps table, and of course I had my actual felt layout customized to be small enough to fit in there, and I use that as my dice boat. I keep my dice in there as I'm throwing in the morning. So that's kind of a cool little addition to the table there. Anyway, here's Ecamm. It's all booted up, and basically what I do is I get set up in the mornings. I come in here and I click this button up here to make sure that my cameras are correct. And of course, this one is on the wrong camera, so I move that to that camera so it switches sides, you'll see. When I always say, I forgot to do the cameras, that's what I'm talking about. I forget that all the time. Anyway, then I come over here and I have all these little scenes preset up. And if I just press the letter R, see, it changes to the view that you're used to seeing. There's my long shot, there's the landing zone for the dice, and there's the landing zone. If I change it to, I think P, letter P, puts the practice layout up. That'll take it a second to load in there. Let's go, there it goes. The practice layout has a different set of views. And so I can preset my Ecamm with different views to show different parts of the table. I have a Crapsy only view, which is here. Press letter C. That would be where Crapsy shows in the morning show. Of course, I have the iPad. That Crapsy view is this iPad's screen. So that's really it. When I get in the morning, I essentially come in here, click the upcoming thing. I find the morning show, I double click that, and I press go live, and I'm live. That's it. That's all I do. I click the button and I'm on. That camera catches your landing zone. That camera catches the betting zone. That camera catches my throw. And that's our morning setup. So it's pretty simple. I literally come out here and I turn the microphone on, turn on Ecamm, press the go live button, and off we play. It takes me about 3 minutes to get going in the morning. One thing else you might want to see, I know it's kind of a mess, I'm sorry about this, but over here, there's the Alexa. You always hear me talking to her. Good morning, Alexa. And this monitor here, that's a 35-inch monitor. That thing's about to get mounted. I'm probably gonna wall mount it right there where that plate is and have it out over the table so I don't have to give up the table real estate. I'll have it hanging out, hovering over the table where that same laptop is, but this way the table itself will have nothing actually on it. I'm kind of a stickler for cleanliness. Anyway, that's a tour of the garage here. While we're at it, let's take a shot. Let's just see if I can't come out in here right in front of you, set my dice, and make a throw that's not a 7. Maybe I can do it. Let's see. What do we have? Hey, it's a 628. Cool. And there's my 7 from this morning. When I end up my morning show on that horrible run, there's this morning 7, and there's the 8 I just threw. So there it is. That's our garage setup. It's pretty simple. Like I said, it's very minimalist, right? Camera, wires through the coin slot into a USB hub. And all that goes into one wire on the side of the computer. That's it. That one wire is the USB hub. The other wire is the iPad. That's it. 2 wires into the machine, and that's all I need to make the show work every day from the garage. So pretty cool setup. Anyway, that's it from out here in the garage. I'll see you elsewhere for some more behind the scenes footage. All right, guys, let's take a look here at my my studio here. How I have things set up. So I'll start here with the table. Now I know the table looks big and huge on TV, but it's not. It's actually 3 feet wide by about 6 feet long. If I put the thing here, you can see a little better. There's the end wall there. The end wall is, again, I bought this from Donald Denny at 7 Up Wood NC. It's about whatever this is, a 1/4 inch, or I guess 1/2 inch thick wood, kind of rounded off the edges there. Actual proper alligator rubber, custom felt, as you know, from Casino Supply, and my custom chips. And there it is. There's the coffee rest. There's a dice boat, and yeah, that's my setup. One thing I do too, by the way, you'll hear this maybe sometimes on the videos, but this little dog clicker that I use, I actually use this dog clicker here. You can see it right there. When I record my videos, I use the clicker to sort of tell myself that was a good take, and that way I keep the camera rolling, but kind of move on. Anyway, around the outside, we have this foam everywhere. And one thing you'll notice about me is I'm kind of a nudge when it comes to keeping things clean. So here's the overhead camera, and you'll notice that I have this wall boom. That's the same wall boom that I have in the garage, by the way, going up for the table cameras there. And the wire runs up. Let's try that whole thing again. This fucking thing in my way. All right, try it one more time. All right, here's the ProCraps studio. I want to give you a quick tour of what this place looks like and how it's put together. So on the walls, one thing you'll notice, I have this black sort of, you can see it right here. It's pretty thick. It's this foam rubber stuff that sort of helps deafen the sound and makes it no echo in here, which is kind of cool because I've got this higher ceiling. I have that metal corrugated aluminum there on the walls. It's a decorative thing that came with the house, actually. So, but super echoey. That's why I have all this black stuff on the walls to help out with that. Here's the table. I know it looks big and cool on TV, but it's really kind of small. It's a studio table. It's 3 feet wide by about 6 feet long, right about that. The backboard and rails I got from 7-Out Wood, Donald Denny. You know I got the custom chips. You can see them in the rail here. Also, that chip rack made by Don. Coffee holder, of course, and what else is cool about the table? The way that it works, actually, is I sit here at my desk, and I'll show you kind of the setup here. But I sit here at the desk, there's my chair, and I get up when I go, say, hey, I'm going to the table now. I get up and I walk around here, and actually walk all the way behind the table like this, and this is where I stand when I'm rolling. Let me get the cord out of the way. When I'm rolling, this is where I stand. I'm actually standing way back over here, and here's my dealing rack right behind me here, and I'm dealing, and my desk is way over there. You can see how small and far away that's why I say I can't see your chats, because the desk it's about 9-10 feet away from me. Just can't see the screen from over here, but that's kind of what it looks like from behind the table. There's that light that I'm always complaining about there in the corner, and what I do with that light, by the way, it's kind of hard to tell from this view here. I'm gonna walk over there though, really quick. Sorry for the dizziness there, but watch the table. When I turn the light on, 2 things are gonna happen. One is the table's gonna get nice and bright, boom. It brightens the table up. This gives it some sharpness, but that light actually, you'll see here, it faces the ceiling. So I'm actually lighting the ceiling. I'm not lighting my table. That light points straight up, not down, and it bounces off that ceiling and reflects onto the table, and it gives the table like that nice perfect glow that you see when the show's going. So that's a little lighting trick that I use to make it not quite so orange and yellow, which is cool in person but doesn't look great on camera. So that's the lighting trick that I use. Of course, there's the famous bases in the corner there, and this is my practice table, which you've seen before, and it's right next to my desk. When I'm sitting here at my desk working my day job or doing our show, right next to me is that table, and I can slide it, obviously. I can bring it over with me here like this. Slides nice and easy, and it's perfect for just working bets, playing around. There's my unicorn. There's the Sideshow Gamble patch, and of course my extra dice. I got some pretty cool dice in here. I've got these. I'll show you some of the stuff I got. These are dice that actually came from Ian Olson. Bought me these. These are actual like wooden carved dice right there. Those are super cool. This set of dice here is like some D&D, Dungeons and Dragons-y kind of dice that are like, you can see those have like dragons in them. They're pretty awesome. And my favorite ones though are these Lynx dice. These are super cool. These are dice that I bought that are actually bullets. So check these out. These are actual bullets that have dice, the numbers carved on them, and they're legit dice. It's 6 on one side, and it's the 1 on the back side. So they're legit cool dice. Anyway, that's my little dice collection and my betting practice table where I come up with all the stupid strategies I do. I sit here and I work the bets from my chair most of the time. And then over here, I've got my pedestal that I used to teach from that pedestal. Now it's just kind of a storage shelf. My dark side mug, and there's the big mic that I use when I'm doing the podcast recording. But I think what you want to see is this, right? How do I work my screen? Let me sit down here. I'm going to show you how this all works. And it's kind of cool. So give me a second here to kind of get this thing down and faced up a little bit. I'm going to take my mic off so you can see the mic. And I'll show you what I use for a microphone. It's the same one that Jeff uses. We both use the same thing. It's this. It's a Rode. Where's my camera? It's over here, I guess. It's a Rode wireless lapel mic. It's actually not that small. It's about 1 inch or so square. I have it on a lanyard. So what you'll see here is that the secret why you don't see the mic, let's see, can I get in front of the camera? It's kind of hanging here. I actually put it on around my neck like that, and I drop it inside my shirt. So the mic's actually inside my shirt. You never see it, but it's a simple little thing like the garage mic. It just plugged right into my computer. You see, that's the receiver. It's wireless. There's the receiver, and it plugs right inside of my laptop over there. Over here, the one that says Code Fellas is my Mac. The one in front of it's a Windows machine that is sitting there in a little deck hanging up on their edge over there. And I use a two monitor setup, like so. Super clean. I'm not happy about all the cords back there. That's kind of a mess, but I need this hanging here because this thing here is the light that goes on here. That light is on behind that camera. That's the camera that you're seeing me in most of the time. That's that one. Again, the light faces away from me, so it shines on the wall behind the camera backwards. And the reflection of that light comes back to me, so when I'm on camera, you don't get the shine directly on my skin. It bounces off the wall sort of and comes back to me. And so it makes it look like more natural light, I guess, right? I learned that trick from watching some YouTube. And then here is my screen, and we're gonna get the inception problem here. But I'm gonna show you how I set the screens up from this far away, and then I'll show you kind of how I do my work. So let's get going here. So what I do, I'm gonna actually change to this. We're gonna use my Stream Deck. My Stream Deck is plugged into the computer. The buttons here just programmed will change which Ecamm screen is working. I'm gonna press the one that looks like me with the PPT next to it right there. I'm gonna press that and watch what happens. Boom. And it's gonna change screens, and there's my half screen, okay? There's black around me because what it does is I have this set up in Ecamm so that screen is behind me in the scene. So check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and open up Keynote. Keynote is an app very much like PowerPoint, but it's for the Macintosh. Notice everything's green because we use green in the industry to kind of mask out colors. So check this out. I'm gonna drag this over. Now watch what happens. If I drag this over to monitor 2, you'll see it. I'm gonna drag it over there. Watch what happens to over here. Whatever was green, you can now see through. You see that? Tales from the Dark Side. Comes over here, the green gets eaten up by my machine. And basically over here, I have all these different windows. Each one of these things is the things I talk about each day. So there's money management. And I just make a new little screen every day with the things I want to talk about. So in the morning show, I'll walk over here and I'll just kind of edit this text, change whatever I want to change, and that becomes what you see on the screen as the show goes, right? Isn't that pretty cool? So let's go and hit the play button over here. When I hit play, watch this. I get this happens. I hit play, it'll go full screen. I get a little like kind of menu thing that I drag over to this screen, and I make sure this thing here is full screen. So when that's full screen, it looks like that. It's green, and you may call for the 7, whatever. Come over here, and there's me with that same thing behind me. So I basically superimpose my camera on top of that, whatever's on screen too. That's my Ecamm setup, right? This down here, right here, I can change by clicking these to make the words change. I can go to different scenes. When you see me switching, all I'm doing is this. I'm clicking with my mouse or keyboard. I can keyboard control it too. I go up, down, left, right, or I can use these buttons here on my Stream Deck. All of those things do the same thing. They all change the scenes for me. And that's basically my whole setup. When I'm in the morning here, this is what I'm saying to you. It looks like ugly green screen to me, but you see it as something nice. And really all that it is a graphic, the Casino Gaming TV graphic that I created with a green background and some words on it. It's really that simple. And I just put it on monitor 2, and I've trained Ecamm. I'm gonna switch screens here. I'm gonna show you what Ecamm looks like here in a second. I want you to see the Ecamm setup and how my screen looks. So let me just pause what I'm saying, and I'm gonna put the iPad down and switch to that real quick. Hold on one second. Okay, so now what you're looking at is my desktop. This is the Ecamm desktop that I normally work with. Now here, of course, is the thing that moves my scenes around, right, when I'm working. But let me show you how I have Ecamm set up. So here's my desktop. Here's Ecamm running. I think you can see that here. Hopefully you should see all the windows here. Now, what I typically do is set up a scene like, for example, let's take a look at the me full screen. So that's this one here. That should pop up like that. Now you see me talking in it. So Ecamm is made up of a bunch of scenes. These things up here called scenes are just like, it's like a window that's right here. And it's whatever I decide to put in the window is what you get to see. So for example, on this scene right here, it's called me full screen. The overlay thing says what's in the window. Well, here's when somebody talks to me or I put a chat up on screen, it looks like this. I can double click this thing here and I can design. Where's the designer for that? I can change the background color. I can change the font size. I can change the shape. I can put, for example, a border. I can make the border red like so and save it. Now you'll see them tomorrow with a red border. That's how they look now. So you can do that kind of stuff as far as how the people look when they put their comments up here. This icon is the CGTV logo. It's a picture. I can move it or put it back in if I want to. The overlay with cup, I don't use anymore. I can just delete that actually. There's my name. And actually my name, you'll see, I think I have it set to fly in from the bottom. So when I enter the scene, when I leave it, I'll leave it, come back. You see my name flies up from the bottom. That's how I do that. It's just a setting in the app. And yeah, the subscribe.mov, this little movie file, that's the little thing that pops up. That's this guy over here. That's that. It plays once. So when the scene first loads and you see my face the first time, it says, hey, subscribe to me. And then it goes away forever. And I've set it to use this. I have two cameras. The one you're looking at that I showed you with the light behind it and the overhead camera behind me. This one uses what's called camera A. That's just me looking at the camera. And it's kind of, now that you saw my layout, right? Over here on the right-hand side, almost behind me is that second screen. I'm looking here to my left at that nice camera. If I turn forward, right in front of me, which you can't see, is the other camera. There's a third camera, which is my monitor's shitty camera. That's when it's, or the bad one is right in front of me. Anyway, let's rephrase that. What's in front of me here is the camera, the built-in monitor camera, which is only HD, not 4K. So that's the one I'm not using it. So I had to turn a little bit over here. And the trick that I use is when I'm turned over here, when I'm talking to you in the mornings, I slide this window up here. So you can see how that thing is high on the screen. So when I'm talking to you and I want to refer to my notes, I can just kind of glance down and I can see in here my notes. And I think I'd make this thing a little smaller like that. I can get the thing bigger and I can actually talk to you and read my notes at the same time and kind of see where I am. And when I'm using the what do you call it, the Stream Deck, I can navigate my notes pretty quickly and just move forward and backwards through them. And you never know I'm pressing the buttons. Pretty easy stuff. And that's kind of how that part of the show works. It's pretty simple. Now, when I want to switch to the other scene, like I say, hey, let's go to the table. Two ways to do it. One is I have this folder called Table Views. And in here, I've set up many different ways to look at my table, right? So here's one, table with the KPI tracker. That one, give it a second, we'll show you the table once I click it. Shows the table. I turned the light off, that's why the table's yellow. And it brings in all these little overlays that are the roll tracker, right? They will populate in as they come. There's a zoom view of the table, which is the table, but super close in. When I do my betting stuff with you, I go super close. There's a table with screen, which is this one. It's the table, and then actually what you're seeing next to it is the same thing. When I go like me with the thing, with this one here, the come out roll is me. The table with screen is the exact same thing. It's just the table instead of my face over there. So I can have a notes over here for you to see and be working the bets too. It's all just smoke and mirrors, right? One side of my screen is a green screen with some words on it. And this is just a camera. This just says, hey, which camera is showing here? Down here, I have this camera B right here. I can change that camera to be anything I want to. I can click on this thing right here and swap that out and make that camera A. And now it's me, but it's upside down because the table camera's upside down. But I can swap out whatever view I want to and make these scenes look how I want. And that's really it. So basically when I'm working the show, I'm usually up in here changing from countdown or the countdown to the intro to me. And these all happen automatically. When I run the countdown, you'll see that as this video runs, me full screen, and then just the thing just starts without me doing any other button presses. That's really the whole thing. That's the setup. And I work my whole system from here. That's it. I have those 3 or 4 buttons. Really though, what I do most of the time is this. I work the Stream Deck. This thing here, these buttons are those buttons. The off button on the top right here, this off button turns off the thing that ends when I say goodbye and have a good day, I hit that button and it all goes away, just like that. These other buttons in here, which I can show you with the iPad again. Let me switch out to the iPad real quick. Hold on. Let's do, which one is that? That's me. Hold on, I gotta find the scene where I had the iPad going. Oh, I know, it was just this one here, wasn't it? Here. Let's get this going again. All right, so, sorry for the big cord here, but yeah, this Stream Deck right here, those buttons are programmed to be me plus the PowerPoint, the monitor, which is the full second screen. So if I click monitor, watch what happens. You get the full second screen. Whatever's driving on the screen, you get to see. This, of course, would be the zoomed in version of the table. There's the big version of the table. There's the table with the KPIs up there. And here is the window. So that's it. So that's how I do it. That is the setup. There's not much magic here at all. It's really, like I said, it's literally just me pressing buttons. I like to think I make it look pretty easy. Let me get back to the full screen picture there. I like to think that I make it look easy, but trust me, that's taken me months to get all those things, all the graphics in the right spot, all the buttons programmed and everything working. But at the end of the day, what you have is this super slick setup. And look at my desk again, right? There's nothing here. There's my mouse and my keyboard, and there's my Stream Deck. There are some wires, like this wire here, which is driving me crazy right now. That's the Stream Deck wire, and it's long because I bring that over to my table when I'm running the roll tracker. I say, hey, it's time to get the roll tracker on. I'll put the roll tracker on like that, and then I can start entering in the rolls as I type them in, right? That's how the roll tracker works. So that cable you can see, and it drives me crazy that you can see a cable. I'm a minimalist. I like to have no cables visible. You'll see like the cable from the other wall wraps around. You can barely even see it. Like I like to have nothing showing. This little hornet's nest back here drives me a little crazy, but I'll live with it for the sake of making things easy. But that's it. That's my life. My life is easy. I've made this system, I think, as easy as I can make it for us to kind of have a nice, simple to run show, and a way that I can manage it without looking away too much and fumbling around too much. So yeah, from a ease of use standpoint, that's my setup. And I think I'm pretty proud of it. I'm pretty proud of how things go every day. It's not, oh boy, that's a terrible shot. I'm proud of how it goes every day. Another good shot. Let's put it back to here. At least you can see my big fuzzy dice, right? Let's go back to the screen share view. I think it's a better view anyway. Let's do that screen share. Where is that one? Boom. To that, that's better. All right, let's go back to the me. I think it's kind of weird how this screen share part works. There I am back again. So that's it. That's my setup. Hope that was informative for you. If you're starting a channel of your own, don't need much, right? Literally, those are 2 cameras that I've got. Those 2 cameras are simple. They're HDMI outputs right into the back of my little USB port. That thing plugs into my computer, and that's the whole setup. It's really not that hard. Matter of fact, let me show it to you one more time because I want you to see what that looks like. Give me a second here. Let's move back to here. So this camera here, I want to show you the connections because it's simple. This camera, this little, let me turn that light off. This is a camcorder, right? It's a 4K camcorder, little deal, right? That thing's output goes right there. So this little USB hub that's right here, one of these right here is this camera that's you're looking at right in front of you. One of these is the cable that comes from that camera over there around the wall. That's it. There's two cables going in, one for each camera. The other USB that you see going in the back there are the monitors. It's that second monitor. That's it. That's my whole thing is 4 cords, right? I keep it super simple because I don't like to have complexity, and that's it. So there's the last look at the system from the captain's chair. Nothing else to see here. I guess that's really it. So hope that was informative and enlightening. I don't know. People always ask how you do it. This is how I do it. Ecamm software is awesome. Making those scenes is so easy. It's 10 times easier than OBS. It's point and click simple, like literally point and click simple. Let me go back to the screen share there. It is literally so easy to do. when I make a scene, it's just drop on the pictures, type in the words, and you're kind of done. So there's the me full screen again. Again, I can just drop on whatever words I want to. I can change camera views. I can do whatever I need to. Super, super simple. Swap out the image for another one. I can take this one and I can unlock it and move it around. I can make it huge. Like I've got all the options, right? Yeah, that's it. There's the ProCrap setup. So hope that was, again, good for you to see that. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you next how I cut a video out. So what I did is I took one of our Coffee and Craps episodes from earlier in the week, and I'm going to slice out 1 minute of it and make a short. I'm going to show you how I film, not how I film, but how I slice and create a short video. So that'll be fun for you to watch. I hope you'll enjoy watching what I go through to make a 1 minute video. Takes about a half an hour. So that's coming up next here. So again, thanks for watching, and yeah, here we go. I'm going to show you how I film a short here. So here we go. This is a little peek behind the curtain. So what I'm going to do is this. I start with, I'm going to zoom in here. I'm working with Final Cut Pro, by the way. And I set my shorts up this way. I'm going to zoom into the screen here a little, or I guess out a little bit. And what I've got is like this timeline. And the way that Final Cut Pro works, I can sort of drop scenes into a timeline. And I've got this here is actually the kind of the framing around this Coffee and Craps little thing, around this little frame around what's going to be the video. I've got the song that you're used to always hearing, and I've got this black down here is actually kind of the backdrop for it. So there's two graphics that get into play here. And what I'll do is I'm going to pull out the old ones. I got to go ahead and actually just kind of select all these old scenes here. This is one that I made last week. And this is kind of a template that I've got. And if I zoom in here a little bit, we'll take these cuts out of here, like so. And I'm left with sort of this blank space to drop in a video. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of the Coffee and Craps from this week, and let's take this one here, the top one. I'm going to make two videos out of this actually. We're going to take this one here, drop it in, and I just replace what's there. So it puts in the Coffee and Craps video. And then I'm going to have to kind of zoom into it a little bit here. And I'm going to find the piece where I did the You Might Be a Douchebag segment. So if I look at this whole thing, I can kind of scrub through it here. And you can see all this mess where I'm talking about the stats and blah, 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 blah. Just got to kind of keep going here and find where I start the douchebag segment. There's the come out roll. More come out roll. Let's see here. Oh, it must be here. That's congratulations to Alfredo. Here it is. So you see that you are late better. This is the day I talked about that. And what's going to be hard about this is this. I'm going to kind of get into here where it starts, and I do this Command B, and I'll hit the tilde key and move that up to the top like this, and then I can delete it. And it brings me to here. You'll see that it comes back to the front of my screen. It's kind of hard to see, but let's wind back. And about here, where do I stop? I stop talking about it right here. So here's the problem with this. This is going to be a tough one. Let's do Control B and delete the end of it. So here's the thing. I got this video that's right now 2 minutes and 13 seconds long. And a short can only be 60 seconds on YouTube. So what I got to do is watch this thing a whole bunch of times. And I got to find a way to clip a minute out of this damn thing. So hopefully when I watch this here, I'm going to find myself talking about dumb stuff that doesn't really matter. And I can clip out bits of it. You'll see kind of how I slice together. So let's just go ahead. It's gonna be boring for you to watch, but we're gonna watch it a few times and just listen in.
Dude, no. Yeah, this one we talked about with Chiro a little bit. You might be a douchebag if you're a late better. And I think, oh man, this is a thing that bit Chiro once, right? You know, late betters, you know, you're throwing chips out as the...
Okay, so I think here.
Yeah, this one we talked about with Chiro a little bit.
Notice that I introduce it and then I say to you on the show, you might be a douchebag yet. That's so I can do this.
You might be.
So right there.
You might.
Right there's where it starts. So we're going to do here. Control B, and again we're going to go ahead and pull that piece out, delete it. So now it'll start with.
You might be a douchebag if you're a late better, and cool. I think, oh man. This is
actually what I'm going to do here too. I'm going to take this before I start any further. I'm going to clip that piece out. I don't want the words on here. I'm going to put the words in later. So let's go ahead and clip this bit out. I'm going to go to the cropping tool. And I'm going to take the original video piece here. I'm going to crop down to where it's just my face, like so. Like this. I think that's about right. Oh, I left it there. That side needs to go in a little bit. Okay, there's that. We'll take the distort tool now, or the transform tool, and I can move it right into there, and I can make it a little bit bigger, probably too big, and sort of slide it into place. And that way it's going to appear like it would have appeared on the show if I didn't have the words next to it. So when I'm taking video, when I'm taking video out of the pre-recorded show, this is kind of the step I have to follow, and it's not quite fitting, so I'm going to go and just make it a little tiny bit bigger, just a hair, like that, so that nestles in there a little bit better. I think that's good. Let's take a look here. Perfect. So now it's in there. So now when I make my cuts, it'll always be front and center. Later on, we're going to add the captions down here and the title up here, so it'll be pretty obvious. Now, let's go ahead and clip out some more of the words.
Oh man, this is a thing that bit Chiro once, right? You know, late bettors, you know, you're throwing chips out as the dice are being thrown, right? You can get your hand hit. You can get the chips get hit.
All right, so.
Oh man, this is a thing that bit Chiro once, right? You know, late bettors.
I'm going to start it right there.
Dice are being late bettors.
So I'm going to zoom in to find out where I start saying that word.
Right, you know, late bet.
Right here.
Late better.
So I'm going to go ahead and shift this out of here. So I cut that little bit out. Oh, geez, what happened there? Let's see. It was too aggressive. Let's see.
You might be a douchebag if you're a late better. And I think, oh man, this is a thing that bit Chiro once, right? You know, late bettors, bag if you're a late better. And I think, oh man, and I think
I'm going to get this part out. The I think is dumb, and the man.
Oh man.
I'm going to leave the man in there because I think it might be kind of cool to have that in there. So let's go ahead and break here. We'll pull that piece out. I'm going to put this flow in here, which kind of makes the screen shift. So we're going to see how this looks. So watch.
You're a late better. Oh man, this is a thing that bit Chiro once, right? You know, late better.
All right, now I'm going to take this middle piece out. The man.
Oh man.
Let's take that little middle piece out. So it should be man, late betters.
You're a late better. Oh man, late better.
We'll transition so it looks not so stupid.
Oh man, late bettors. You know, you're throwing chips out as the dice are being thrown, right? You can get your hand hit. You can get the chips get hit. It's just a big freaking distraction, right? Late betting is bad for everybody. If you're gonna late bet, don't do it with chips, right? If you have a good rapport with your dealers, which most of us probably do because you're working with them, you're betting for them. If you have a good rapport with the dealers, then you can look at them in the eye and say, I'd like a $25 5, or make my 5 look like 25, and they'll say it's a bet, and they'll put their hand up like this. Hold your money. After the roll's over, you can drop whatever you're dropping to make the bet right. Okay? Or if you were going to regress and say, make that look like 25, and it was at 60, they'll say that's a bet, and after the roll's over, they'll hand you back your change. Okay? That's the best way to do it. Catch eye contact, say it. If you forgot, it happens, right? You forget stuff. I know it. I forget stuff all the time.
So right there, I think might be the natural stop.
Stuff I know it.
Let's see what's after it.
Verbally, with the pointed cue and get confirmation back, the box or the person will say it's a bet. That's your cue. Do not throw money in. Don't lean in and drop in the field late. That makes you a complete douchebag. Right? You're making it all about you, and you're getting in somebody's way and potentially impacting the dice. So get off of that. Work with your dealers hands-on. They're always mostly really good about the verbal, got you, eye contact, book it with the box, and you're good. All right? Don't be a late better. Don't be a douchebag and get yourself in the way of a roll. Work with your dealers verbally, please. Some casinos do have no call bets, right? You'll see that on the felt. It'll say no.
All this part, this no call bet thing here is probably too much. Let me see how I ended that.
Let's get it right next time. But there's times, right? And if you're betting for them, it'll say no call bets.
All right, I think this whole piece here.
Work with your dealers verbally, please.
All right, that whole end piece can just go bye-bye. That's unnecessary stuff. Now we got a minute and 35. I got to cut 35 seconds out of this damn thing. So somewhere in the back here, I think I get repetitive. So I'm going to go ahead and listen again here, and we're going to slice some of this bit out and find the good parts, okay? And make it look like a minute. So I'm going to listen to it again here and find out where I can cut. Let's see. I think there's a lot of ums in here
25,
too.
and they'll say it's a bet, and they'll put their hand up like this. Hold your money. After the roll's over, you can drop whatever you're dropping to make the bet right, okay? Or if you were going to regress and say, make that look like...
I think right there, I don't need that or regress piece. We're going to go ahead and cut this out. Let's see where I'm going to pick it back up though.
They'll say that's a bet. Over, you can drop whatever you're dropping to make the bet right, okay? Or if you were going to regress and say, make that look like 25 and it was at 60, they'll say that's a bet.
I'm going to put that back in here. So we'll take this little bit out and see. I think that's going to flow pretty well if I cut that piece. Let's see it.
Or you can drop whatever you're dropping to make the bet right. They'll say that's a bet.
There you go.
And after the roll's over, they'll hand you back your change, okay? That's the best way to do it. Catch eye contact, say it. If you forgot, it happens, right?
Okay, so I think in here, this catch eye contact.
The best way to do it. Catch eye.
Right there.
Catch eye.
So right here, we're going to slice that out. And where are we going to stop it?
Back your change, okay? That's the best way to do it. Catch eye.
Let's take this from where I said okay. That can come out. We'll flow that. How's that sound?
Your change. Catch eye contact, say it. If you forgot, it happens, right? You forget stuff. I know it. I forget stuff all the time. Verbally.
I think we're getting to it here too, where some of this can come out. Let's see this from verbally crap.
Verbally, with the pointed cue and get confirmation back, the box or the person will say it's a bet. That's your cue. Do not throw money in. Don't.
All right, that's important. So we're going to say
back the box.
I'm going to zoom in here.
Confirmation back, the box or the person.
Jeez, what a mess.
Pointed cue and get confirmation back, the box.
All right, how does that come in here? We're going to.
You know what? I forget stuff all the time.
I think this whole piece
if
here.
You forgot, it happens. Say it.
All right, we're going to stop right there. I'm going to cut that.
If you forgot, it happens, right? You forget stuff. I know it. I forget stuff all the time. Verbally, with the pointed cue.
Let's try that and see how that. I'm going to try this and see how this feels with that one section gone. Let's see. If I go.
Say it. Verbally.
We might need to get a little bit of. Let's see. Move this flow in here and see how that comes out.
Say it. Verbally. With the pointed cue and get confirmation back, the box or the person will say it's a bet. That's your cue. Do not throw money in. Don't lean in. Box or the person or the.
So the box.
Confirmation back, the box or the person. The box or.
I think it's.
Or the person.
We want to get this piece, this stutter that I got right here. Let's get that out.
Person. Or the
take that. You can flow that in there.
And get confirmation back. The box or the person will say it's a bet. That's your cue. Do not throw money in. Don't lean in and drop in the field late. That makes you a complete douchebag.
Boom. That might be the way to end it right there. Is there anything else behind this that's good? Let's see.
You're making it all about you, and you're getting in somebody's way and potentially impacting the dice. So get off.
I like that making it all about you bit right there. That's kind of cool. Let's keep that.
Get off of that. Work with your dealers hands on. They're always mostly really good about the verbal, got you, eye contact, book it with the box, and you're good. All right? Don't be a late better. Don't be a douchebag and get yourself in the way of a roll.
I like that right there.
Got you, eye contact about.
Like this.
Work with your dealers hands on. They're always.
I like this. All right, we're going to cut it here. And I think I'll stop it here.
Book it with the box, and you're good.
Boom. That's the way to end the video, I think, right there. This is a good little ending piece. I think in here we can get rid of some of this mess. I think that piece right there can go. Let's see how this flows here. So, let's see.
Late. That makes you a complete douchebag. Right? You're making it all about you. Work with your dealers hands on. They're always mostly really good about on they're always really mostly most
All right, we're going to cut it right there, mostly. I'll say from there.
dealers hands on they're always
Let's take this out. This should make that say there usually.
on they're mostly really
Let's see.
hands on they're mostly really good about the verbal, got you, eye contact, book it with the box, and you're good.
All right, I like all of that. The problem is that we're about 10 seconds over. So we got to figure out how do I get 10 seconds still cut out of this thing? Yikes. Okay, let's try it. Let's see what I can do here. We'll try and get 10 seconds out of the darn thing.
You're throwing.
All right, let's see if I can get
Oh
some.
man, late betters. You're
Okay, there's a second right there.
late betters. You're throwing.
Let's take this out. We'll take it right there. I can take that and I can flow that. That should be like a no-brainer.
Betters. You're throwing chips out as the dice are being thrown, right?
I don't need the right. This will give me a second. Shave them where I can, right? Here we go. Let's see.
Chips out as the dice are being thrown. You can get your hand hit. You can get your.
All right, I'm gonna make that flow better. I like the flow transition.
You can get your hand hit. You can get your the chips get hit. It's just a big freak.
Let's take the chips getting hit out of there. Let's see how we're doing here.
Your hand hit. You can get your. It's just a big freaking distraction, right? Late betting is bad for everybody. If you're gonna late bet, don't do it with chips, right? If you
Okay.
hand hit, you can get your. It's just a. You can get your.
I'm gonna take that piece right there. I think we don't need that.
You can get your hand hit. It's just a big freaking distraction.
That looks nice.
Right?
Okay.
Late betting is bad for everybody. If you're gonna late bet, don't do it with chips, right? If you
Okay, let's take that right out, right there. So we're gonna break it here. We're gonna break it here. Take that away. We'll flow that in. We're getting close. I bet that's about 5 seconds.
chips. If you have a good rapport with your dealers, which most of us probably do because you're working with them, you're betting for them. If you have a good rapport with the dealers,
I think
then,
that whole piece can come.
you
Okay,
can-
let's get that out. If you have a good rapport.
a good rapport with your dealers. If you have a good rapport with your dealers, which most of us probably do because you're working with them, you're betting for them. If you have a good rapport with the dealers, then
I'm going to take that right there, right here. Uh-oh, what happened? I'm in the wrong tool here. I need to be this. Needs to be the select tool. Okay, so we're here. I think.
with chips. If you have a good rapport with the dealers, then you can look.
Then let's get the out of there. This is so much fun, isn't it? This is like what we do, all us creators, right? We do this all damn day, right?
Then you can.
And again, I don't like that jump. I like to have the little.
Then you can look at them in the eye and say, "I'd like a $25 5," or make my 5 look like 25, and they'll say it's a bet, and they'll put their hand up like this. Hold your money. After the roll's over, you can drop whatever
we're
you're
so
dropping
close.
to make the bet right. They'll say that's a bet.
All right. Oh, look at that. We're at a minute even. We're exactly at a minute. Can you believe that? At the very end of this thing, we got 58 seconds, 1 minute, 59:29. We did it. Holy crap. Okay. So what I do now is I'm going to stretch out the scene wrapper to the end. I'm going to stretch the song out till the very end, and I'm going to stretch out this graphic here also to the very, very end. I'll need to zoom in here, make sure I've got it to the fold, and then we'll look at the end real quick. That's it, 59:29. The beginning of it is going to be the shorts main screen. It should come right in.
If you're a late better. Oh man, late betters, you're throwing chips out as the dice are being thrown. You can get your hand hit. It's just a big freaking distraction, right? Late betting is bad for everybody. If you're gonna late bet, don't do it with chips. If you have a good rapport with the dealers, then you can look at them in the eye and say, "I'd like a $25 5," or make my 5 look like 25, and they'll say it's a bet, and they'll put their hand up like this. hold your money. After the roll's over, you can drop whatever you're dropping to make the bet right. They'll say that's a bet, and after the roll's over, they'll hand you back your change. Catch eye contact, say it verbally with a pointed cue, and get confirmation back. The box or the person will say it's a bet. That's your cue. Do not throw money in. Don't lean in and drop in the field late. That makes you a complete douchebag. Right? You're making it all about you. Work with your dealers hands-on. They're mostly really good about the verbal, got you, eye contact, book it with the box, and you're good.
There it is. That's it. Boom. Yeah. Now we did. Now that's step one. We're going to export this thing out. I'm going to export it out to this. It'll just take a minute. I'll pause while we're doing that, but we're going to take this thing to uncaptioned shorts. It's going to be douchebag-late bet is the name of the file. And we'll let that thing tick away. It won't take very long for it to export out to small, short little file. And then once that's done, we're going to go to a different application. I'm going to add the text and I'm going to add the captions to it. So it doesn't take very long. This will just take a minute for it to export itself out. And then I'll make that switch. Matter of fact, I'm going to open up Descript now. It's the app that I'm going to use for this. Okay. Get yourself going here. Come on. All right, we're going to do a new project. Okay, we're going to call this short. Why can't I type? Can I not do anything? What's going on here? Final Cut's taking a... There we go. It'll be called short dash late bet. And where's my file? What happened here? Okay, we're going to add the file that we just did. So we're going to go to our external drive, the raw, uncaptioned shorts, douchebag, late betting. Drag it in here. There it goes. That should caption it, I think. All right. Add a file to transcribe. We're going to add. Does it not remember it? I guess not. All right, we'll have to do it like that. I would have thought it would have figured that out that I uploaded it. All right, uncaptioned shorts, douchebag, late betting. There it goes. Now it's going to go ahead and transcribe this. It's going to take it a hot minute to do it. And then once it does that, I got to go through here and change because you'll see that it'll misspell things. It doesn't quite get my speech right. So we'll give it a second here, and I'm going to make this a little bigger while it does it. Let's see here. Add media library. I think it's transcribing it, right? No, hold on. Why is it not transcribing it? Do we need to tell it to transcribe it? I forget how to do this now. Let's try it again. Let me go. I think I screwed this up. Let me go back to the project screen. I think I messed this up. I think you have to do it in a very certain order. Let's see. Shorts. It didn't even save it. Okay, let's just do it again. New project. Sorry about that. Choose a file to transcribe. This is what I do first. So we're going to do the late betting one. Open that up. And it should be transcribed. There it goes. Now it's going to transcribe it. It'll be ready in a few minutes. Done. Okay. This is going to be douchebag late, but now it's that's what I was waiting for. This takes it a minute to do this part. And then so when it's done, we'll go ahead and we'll take the video. I'm going to add words to it. I think I can probably get started on that pretty soon here. And I can add some text. You'll see I can add captions later on, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to add the captions right to it. It's pretty cool how it does it. You'll see that this thing basically reads all my words as I'm saying them, and it turns into a script like this. And now I got to go through and see, you might be a douchebag if you're late better. I'm going to change that to be, even though it sounds right, we're going to correct that and say bettor. Oh man, late. Again, betters. You know you're throwing chips. Now this is weird. It says you know you're throwing chips out there. So I'm going to hear what that sounds like. So I'm going to put my cursor here and see what I'm actually saying.
You know, you're throwing chips out as the dice are being thrown. You can
Well, I guess that's what I said.
Hand hit. It's just a big freaking distraction, right? Late betting.
That should be betting. Whoops. It's bad for everybody.
Betting is bad for everybody. If you're going to late bet, don't do it with...
I'm going to change this to going to, because when it reads on screen, I want it to be kind of proper English.
Gonna late bet, don't do it with chips. If you have a good rapport with the dealers, then you can look at them in the eye and say, I'd like a $25 five, or make my five look like 25.
I'm going to put this in quotes. Make my five look like 25, like that. Okay.
$25 five, or make my five look like 25, and they'll say it's a bet.
And they'll say, I'm going to put this again in quotes. It's a bet.
It's a bet.
It's going to have to be in a quote. It's a bet. Period. Quote. And I'm going to change this to be capital and. And they'll put their hand up like
And they'll
this.
put their hand up like this. Hold your money.
So this needs to change. Hold your money. Period. Whoops. Hold your space money.
Money. After the roll's over, you can drop whatever you're dropping to make the bet right. They'll say...
That shouldn't be a question mark. That should be a period.
They'll say that's a bet.
And again, we're going to go in quotes. That's a bet. Period. And we'll make this and
after the
capital. Sorry, I know this is like super boring for you all, but this is the process, right?
Rolls over, they'll hand you back your change. Catch eye contact, say it.
This feels like it wants to be a sentence to me, so I'm going to change this here to change period capital C ATCH.
Change. Catch eye contact, say it verbally with the pointed cue and get confirmation back. The box or the person will say it's a bet.
Again, we're going to go, it's a bet. I'm going to make this look like it's proper English. It's a bet, period, end quote. Okay.
That's your cue.
And this cue here should be spelled, I think it's, well, no, it is Q like that. I wonder if it was the other Q. I think it's that.
Cue. Do not throw money in. Don't lean in and drop in the field late. That makes you a complete douchebag. Right? You're making it all about you.
I'm going to take this right out because I don't need that. Let's do this here, from here to here.
Right? You're making it all.
Do it again. C. Just make it a period. It makes you a complete douchebag. Whoops. Fix the period. There we go. Okay. Making it all
about you.
Again, fix the sentence structure here. So it's going to be you, period, work with your dealers.
You work with your dealers hands-on. They're mostly really good about the verbal, got you, eye contact.
Verbal. So I'm going to change this whole thing here. The way I want this to look is like this. About the verbal, we're going to go correct that. Verbal, ... got you, ... eye contact, ... book it with the box. And you're good, period. Okay, that's the way to end it. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is this. Check this out. This is so cool. Click here. We're going to say text, captions, boom, and they go down here automatically. I'm going to change this a little bit. We're going to give them a border. And I'm going to make the fill let's see, the fill's white. The border is going to be red, like about there red. And we're going to make this thing like 100. I think it's 110 if it looks great. Maybe 120. 125. We'll do it. Whoa, not 125. 125 is a good font size. Up top here, I'm going to add a title. Whoa. Can I move that? Oh, no. Can I move that? I guess I can't. Can I just add some text? Plain text. There we go. But I can't move it. Why can't I move it? Oh, there we go. Plain text. This is going to say, you might, this needs to be left aligned. You might, whoa, look at that mess. Can I make this any wider? You might be a douchebag if ... you are a late better. Okay, so there's the words. I want to make this thing though. Oh shit. I want to make this go wide. How come it's not? Look at that, like weird, like it's super tall. Can I make this thing wide? Ah, there we go. All right, let's do it again. This is just weird how this thing kind of doesn't let you do it. There we go. Wow, that's so weird how it works like that. But anyway, we'll do this here. We'll make this down here. If I can make that line centered. Well, that's fine if it's all centered, I guess. Let's make it like 75. Make it 60. And I'm going to take this. There we go. Boo, that looks great. Okay, let's render it out. So we're all done. And we know it's going to look awesome, so I can just do it here.
Do not throw money in. Don't lean it.
Boom. Okay, publish it out. Publish it. We're going to export it to a file. I'm going to export that at 4K resolution. It's going to export, and I export this in my system to this, this drive in the final folder. And it's going to be DB, douchebag, latebet, MP4, save. And that's it. That's the whole process. This is going to take it a few minutes to export out. And once that's done, I'll upload it to YouTube and I'll schedule it to be released probably in a couple of weeks. So you'll probably see this video come out in a few weeks, and that's exactly what it takes to make a short. I basically take my morning shows, and if I can find a good clip to do this with, it's a perfect short. I've already filmed it. There's no need to film it a second time, and out it goes, right? There's going to be sections here where I take bigger segments, and like, for example, in this particular episode, while that's coming out, let's go to the downloads folder here. This is, by the way, the recording from today's show is here. If I look at the show, I can zip forward here, and this is the day. Let's see what I was talking about here. If I can kind of fast forward here. This is the day that we did the monster roll, right? So I know that there was this really good section from about 18 minutes in, where about that starts, until right about here, about 55 minutes in. So there's a good like 18 to 55. That's probably, what is that, 30 minutes or so of video of me doing, I think we did half pressing and I did like the tier pressure or something in here, right? Made a bunch of money. And then I maybe recapped it at the end. But that right there is a 30-minute video that's suitable to go up on the ProCrafts website for, you know, how to play a monster roll kind of a thing. So this is probably going to get clipped out later on the same way I just did it, but without the captions. So that the last step that we followed there, that won't happen. So yeah, that's the process there. Let's see what we're at. Let's see how we're doing here. Descript. Let's see. We minimize that. Minimize that. This thing here, it looks like it's done. Yeah, I can go down here, check out the Tough Nano, the final. Not quite done yet. Oh, here it is, 30%. So it's almost done. But that's the process. When it gets done, it's going to look like one of these. Like here's a DB when I was ranting about betting, right, one day. And you'll see it, this thing here. Oh, this is a whole different. This is the that's the DI day when I went off in the garage about DI. This is the I don't find Next JB Fireside Craps episode that I rendered out. So this will be added to the list here in a minute. I'll have a bunch of videos to upload, later on. So that's it. That's how you make a short. That's how I make my shorts anyway. So I caption them. and they come out and they look pro. Like these things look really, really good with the title and the caption down below. That's my process. Hope that was interesting to watch. So there's a little bit of behind the scenes with old Johnny. So thanks. Awesome. All right, well there you have it. That's a look at my studios, the garage studio, the home studio, and even a glimpse behind the curtain of how the work I go through to make a 1-minute video is kind of crazy, isn't it? And you want to see Jeremy. I've watched Jeremy from Color Up do his work, and he's 10 times better than I am at that. And watching him work is like watching a wizard at play. So lots to be gained from watching other people do their thing. I got most of my knowledge about how to build a studio from watching YouTube videos and just asking around. So again, my use of Macintosh and sort of the minimalist way I do things, it's my way. I know Jeff has got a much more complex and higher horsepower setup for the way that he does things with his Windows machines and everything else. Both of us are here to help. If you want to start a YouTube channel, or if you have a YouTube channel, you want some advice on how to get going or how to get things working right, how to make your microphone sound great. My microphone sounds great because I put work into it. I got good mics. I've got a good equalizer software that I can pipe through into my system. Happy to sit with you and show you how to do it. So anyway, hope that show was fun for you. And I'll see you in the next one. Y'all have a great rest of your day. John's out. God bless y'all. Bye.